Alright gentlemen, for our Avowed Shadow Knight build, you are going to be mostly a warrior class with some lifesteals and different things tied in like that we'll get into when we talk about the abilities. You will be using a one-handed melee weapon and a shield, so any melee weapon of your choice you can really use, and then you can kind of tweak some of your perks depending on what weapon you have. But we're going to get into the abilities. We are going to talk about some armor pieces that I am using, as well as a weapon that you can kind of get early on in the game that pairs very nicely with this build. So we'll start right here with the abilities. Now, for the abilities, I will get into them, kind of describe each one of them, but then I will put up a list of what levels you want to take each ability as well. So how we're going to do this is I'm quickly going to go through all of the abilities that I'm using, kind of describe them and tell you, what benefits you're going to get from them. And then at the end of this, I will throw up this screen right here that is going to tell you by level which ability that you're going to want to pick up. You don't have to follow this exactly, but it'll give you an idea if you don't want to go fishing around for what ability you should get next. But we're going to start right here with the abilities that we're going to grab here. So we're going to start in the fighters tree here, and you're going to get charge. Obviously, one of the first ones that you're going to get here, and then you're going to also need armored grace, because this is going to give you better stamina when you're wearing heavier armor. Shield bash, because great stagger abilities onto that, and then toughness is very, very good and a very, very strong perk. So you're going to want that extra 45% health. Devastating criticals. That one we're actually pairing with something in the ranger tree we'll talk about in a second. Bleeding cuts I ended up picking up as well. We have unbreakable, which is going to give you decreased stun cost when you are blocking. Very, very strong one as well. You're going to want to pick that one up. And then when we're looking at the rangers, we're grabbing the parry in level 1 because we want this finesse down here in level 5, which is going to give us a 40% increase on our one-handed weapons. And then another one that we really want to take advantage of is critical strikes. It's going to give you a 20% increase on your critical hit chance. And that's the one that I'm saying that you're tying right here with your devastating criticals, because now you got 50% more damage on them. And then now you have a 20% extra chance to, land them. So very strong on that. The bear ally, this is a choice thing. You don't have to take this, but it is pretty good at grabbing aggro and kind of giving you some open spaces here and there. I feel like it's better grabbing aggro than just some of the companions even. So then we have last up in the ranger tree is going to be Flurry of Blows. So Flurry of Blows, you're going to get lifesteal on this when you get rank 2, and then as well the attack speed that you gain from this and the amount of damage that you put out while this is running is very, very powerful. So at least get it up to rank 1 just to use the buff. It's every 25 seconds you can use it, and like I said, it's literally devastating when you get to use this thing. You'll really see them ticking down in life really quickly. And then our only wizard spell we're going to get here is our Corrosive Siphon, which I think I will when I probably get close to when I'm like 30. Right now I'm 26. I have went through the game already. This is my second playthrough. But it does cut off at a certain point, guys, so you do want to be careful at where you're at in the game if you want to go back and do other stuff. But eventually I think I will put some Spirit of Decay, probably 1, just to grab a 20% on my Corrosive Siphon here, which, like I said, this is when you get rank 2 on this, that's when it becomes very powerful because it holds them in place while you're using it. And this thing is filling up like 50% of my health when I get a full charge off on it. It is very, very strong. So it's very nice when you compare that with the fighter. You have your companion that is going to heal you as well. So when it comes to companions, the two that I am taking most often when I'm a fighter class is Giada. 100% of the time I'm taking Giada. She has heals. She has a attack speed buff. She has a barrier. So pairing her with a fighter, she's like the best support class in the game. And then probably my second two would be Marius. Isn't bad, but however you pronounce her name yet, Zilly. She is good because she has a very, very strong slow, and it lasts for a good amount of time. And then Kai's not bad for damage and some stun abilities that he has, and just kind of helping get people off you quickly. So Giada, you're taking 100% of the time. You're going to want to get at least 1 in this health one so it fills you up 50%. And then you can kind of choose from there. But she has some very, very good ones, guys. And then, like I said, Yetzali, check her out because she has awesome slow abilities and things like that. So them are the two companions that I like to run with. But I would just say Giada 100% of the time to keep you alive in the support. And then you can kind of pair whatever you're thinking for yourself after that. Okay, so we'll kind of throw this on the screen for a second here. You can kind of screenshot or do whatever you want to do. It's You're going to have to look through the tree, guys, because I didn't put like what tree it's in, but I mean, it's relatively easy. The pictures are very self-explanatory. You know, most of all the first levels are going to be in the fighter tree, and there's, you know, obviously there's only one in the wizard tree, so you're going to find all these in the fighters and the rangers, and this is just kind of how I spec mine out. Now, you don't have to follow this to the T, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, if you run into problems and you're trying to set it up your own way, you can kind of resort back to this, and this should get you through the game and progress you properly against the enemies and stuff like that, because it was able to get me through. So yeah, this is going to have you up to level 25, and when you hit 25, then it really becomes the main thing about this build is it is lacking essence. So I would say after 25, really going in there and trying to find different ways to grab some essence, because the stamina isn't great, but there are ways, like I'm going to show you some armor pieces that makes the stamina really not affect you at all. But the essence is my main concern with the build, and I'm using, you know, more essence potions than life potions or anything like that. So that is the main drawback of the build, would be essence, and I think if you have 5 levels to work on it, you know, the essence can get pretty high. So I had a lot of fun with this build. I'm just going through creating as many unique type of builds that I can create. This game has a ton of variety to use. There's no cap to like the skill trees. You can just dip into any skill tree nearly at any level and start grabbing things. So I like that aspect of the game. The weapons, there's tons of them. You can pair any ones together. Yeah, so I think the next build I'm going to make is probably a monk build, because I did see an unarmed stat in there that really gives you like legendary fists at, like, you can get it at a very low level. So I am going to make a monk build next, but this one I wanted to get out here. This was my second playthrough, with what I was using. I just went with a traditional warrior with my first playthrough, and I did have more fun with this one, kind of tying in the life steals. The siphon gave me an ally, you know what I'm saying? It was a lot of fun to play this, and then pairing it with the companions that I told you about, I think you will have a lot of fun with it. So we're going to get into some of the armor pieces that I'm using, and then maybe some weapons that you can find earlier on in the game until you progress further to take advantage of some of the other ones. But we will talk about a real nice one, nice axe that you can get very early in the game to pair with a shield of your choice, because shields are very hard to come by, guys. I didn't find a unique shield until very far into the game. Like, I was already well past 20. So I may have missed some, but shields are hard to find. So you're going to want to pick up whatever shield you can. Either wait a little bit until you can get a purple shield, or you're going to want to just start upgrading your shield early. You know, that's like the best advice I can give. Shields were really hard to find, and I did kind of hear wands were pretty hard to find. And to tell you the truth, I have not come across, I don't know if I've come across a unique wand yet in the game, and I'm very, very deep into my second playthrough here, and I have done a lot of the side quests and the bounties and things like that. So I'm sure there are some, but I would assume that it is limited for the wands for sure. But this will give you a good outline, guys. I do hope you know, it helps somewhat, and I hope you guys like the build. Like I said, I had a lot of fun with it, and I'm going to have a ton of build videos because there's just so many different things you can make in the game. The only thing I really wish is there was more of an end game plus type of thing, to where when you completed the game completely, you could just continue to play and, you know, do all your side quests and stuff like that. Okay, and just for a very quick look at how my character stats are looking at level 26. This thing, you're kind of going to have to go by how you want to do it, but you're going to notice diminishing returns, and every single stat for this class that we're running right here is somewhat important. So that is why you're seeing mine is pretty spread out. I did a decent amount in might, and you're noticing the green with the asterisk by it. That is from my armor, but some of those are from your companions. So to get the companion ability points, you have to talk to them in your camps, and then they will offer you like special training or whatever. Just say yes, and then you just get free ability points from them. So it's like 2 points from each character. Just keep talking to them in camp. I didn't find that out for a long time because I really wasn't talking to people in camp. I didn't even find that out my whole first playthrough. So I didn't find that out till my second playthrough. So if you're not somebody that's like super involved in the story and talking all the time, you're going to probably pass those up. And it's very important to grab those extra attribute points. So as you see, mine's very balanced. And this is what I'm looking like at 26. And you can kind of work out whatever you're feeling like is weak, whatever you're struggling with. If you're feeling like you're losing too much stamina or essence or whatever like that, that is what you're going to really want to put your next attribute point in to kind of help you out. The melee axe that you can grab early on in the game is going to be this cold axe right here. and you're going to get this by going up here to Watcher's Mirror. And when you go to Watcher's Mirror, you're going to go to the memory. You're going to see that blue dot all the way to the right there, right by the river. And you're going to watch that memory, and then right when you turn around, the axe is going to be stuck in a rock behind you. So watch the memory, turn around, and then that is when you will come across the axe. And for early on in the game, it's pretty strong for early on. And like I said, it has some cold abilities onto it and things like that. See, this is the little pedestal that it's going to end up being on after you watch that memory. So like I said, right here, Watcher's Mirror, watch the memory. It's just going to give you a godlike ability, so that's going to be a plus, and then you're going to turn around and get that axe right away too. So very, very strong, very good for the beginning, guys. So I do recommend hitting that one up as early as you can. Okay, so for our next armor piece, we are going to be looking at the Berserker Boots. Now for these are going to take a lot longer to get. You're going to get them on the last map that you open up in the game, and you're going to come over here to Outcast Cave Camp, exactly where my guy is standing on the map. You come into here, there's going to be a fight, and then after the fight, there is going to be a chest to open within this area. It should be right over here, and then this should open your Berserker Boots. And the main thing about these Berserker Boots is the stamina regeneration. As you see, Frenzied Strides, that gives you 100% stamina regeneration rate, and it is like your stamina just instantly refills basically as soon as you take a break. So these are very, very good, but like I said, unfortunately, you really can't get your hands on these until pretty far into the game. So from here on out, I was just kind of, whatever I came across, I was just, substituting them in and out until I was able to get these Berserker Boots right here. Okay, for some gloves that you can get pretty early on in the game, it's going to be at Shatter's Carp. You can get the Tricksters Gloves, and the main thing we want on here is Fatal Misdirection, which is going to give us another 25% critical damage. So from our abilities, we're already getting 50% critical damage, and this is just going to add another 25% to give us 75% increased critical damage. So for this one right here, you're going to come over to Sand Sea Oasis. Like I said, this is on Shatter's Carp. And then you are going to go in the water over here, and there should be a guy down at the bottom. Yeah, I already got the stuff, but this guy down here in the water will have the Trickster's gloves, and he'll also have a few other things too. So definitely pick those up when you can. Like I said, adding on that 25% extra critical damage is very nice, and it pairs well with some of the abilities we got going on. Okay, so when you're moving more towards the end game, the two weapons, or the weapon and the shield that you're really going to want to get your hands on here is going to be Bastion of Solace and then Andra's Offense. So these, for the shield, you're going to want to be on the good side of Mahala right here. She is in Solace's Keep. So this is towards the end. Like I said, Solace's Keep right here. And she is going to give you the shield at the end as long as you stay on her good side and do, whatever is going to favor her. So make sure you do that to get the shield. And then you're going to want to come down here and have him forge you the sword. Andra's, what's it called? Andra's Offense. Now you have to find Star Metal. Now I cannot remember where I found my Star Metal, and I couldn't find it through my gameplay footage that I had available. So you're going to have to find the Starforge metal to get it. Now, when I do my next playthrough, I will pay closer attention. So I will have an updated guide very soon that will show you guys exactly where you're getting the metal to forge this. But it's going to come, it just came randomly through my playthrough. Like I wasn't searching for it. I just found it on my way. And by the time I got to the Forge Master, I had a couple of these pieces. So altogether, I have found 3 throughout the game. So you're going to use the 2 right off the bat. You're going to use the first one to create Andra's Offense. And then when he asks you if you want to make Andra's Offense stronger, or if you want to create the gun that he can make, you're going to choose to make Andra's Offense stronger. And because you can still find the other 2 pieces for the gun. But your main thing for this build is going to be this sword. So that is the way you're going to want to do it. And it's going to be this sword right here. It's going to have some cold abilities on it, and it's a good sword, man. It's the best sword I've basically come across in the game. I'm sure there's better ones, but this is definitely one of the best ones. It has a full combo attack, gives the enemy negative 20% damage for 15 seconds, and then hit steel 10% bonus frost damage as well. So very good sword. That's kind of where you're going to build up to by the end of the game. Get that shield, get that sword, and then everything should come together pretty smoothly for you guys. Now, when it comes to your breastplate and like your rings and your amulet, honestly, I was switching in and out depending on what I had a lot for this class right here. I didn't find like a breastplate that I thought stuck out a super, that was really crazy that I wanted to go in depth and talk to you guys about. But just you're going to want medium to heavy armor, preferably heavy armor. And then you're going to want to add just any kind of, if you can add essence with your rings, essence is not bad to add with this class because you're kind of low on essence. And just different things like that. You're going to kind of feel where you're lacking, and that's where you're going to want to pick up when it comes to your rings and your amulet.